Hello, friends. Welcome to today's story. Jesus told a powerful parable called the Prodigal Son. It is a story about love, forgiveness, and the heart of God. Let's begin. Jesus told this story to teach us about the endless love of God, a love that never gives up, no matter how far we wander. As you listen, imagine yourself stepping into this world, a world where choices, mistakes, and forgiveness shape the hearts of men and women, where mercy is stronger than pride, and love is greater than shame. Long ago, in the peaceful land of Israel, surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields, there lived a kind and wealthy man. His home stood tall and welcoming, filled with warmth, laughter, and the gentle hum of daily life. Servants worked in the fields, birds sang from the olive trees, and the fragrance of bread baking filled the air. This man was known in his village for his wisdom and compassion. People came to him for advice, and none ever left his home hungry. But above all, he was a devoted father. His heart belonged to his two sons. The elder son was responsible and hardworking. Each morning, he rose before sunrise, cared for the animals, and oversaw the workers in the fields. His father trusted him completely, for his loyalty was steadfast. But the younger son, his heart was different. Though he loved his father, he longed for more, for adventure, for excitement, for the world beyond the quiet hills. He often stood at the edge of the fields, staring at the distant road, dreaming of freedom. To him, the farm felt small, the rules felt heavy, and the unknown world seemed full of promise. The father saw the restlessness in his younger son's eyes. Many times, he prayed silently that his son would find peace. But one morning, as the sun rose gently over the hills, the younger son approached his father with a bold and painful request. His voice trembled with both courage and impatience as he said, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance, the portion that belongs to me." The words struck the father's heart like a sharp blade. In their culture, asking for inheritance early was like saying, "I wish to live as though you were no longer here." The old man stood in silence for a long moment. His heart was heavy, but his love for his son was greater than his sorrow. With trembling hands, he divided his wealth between his two sons. The younger son bowed quickly, avoiding his father's eyes. Within a few days, he packed all his belongings: fine clothes, gold coins, and dreams of freedom. At the gate of their home, the father stood watching, his eyes filled with tears as his beloved son walked down the dusty road, growing smaller with every step. The father whispered a prayer under his breath. "Lord, keep him safe and bring him home again." Days passed, and the young man journeyed far away, until even the memory of his home felt distant. He arrived in a great city, a place of bright lights, loud laughter, and endless pleasures. At first, everything seemed perfect. The son's pockets were full of gold, and his days were filled with feasts, wine, music, and laughter. He wore fine robes of blue and purple, dined with strangers who called him friend, and spent his nights in grand halls glittering with oil lamps. He told himself, "This is life, this is freedom." His laughter had turned into sorrow. The once proud young man, who had dreamed of freedom, now knelt in filth, alone and starving, far from home and far from love. Desperate and starving, he found work feeding pigs in a muddy field. As he watched the pigs eat, he wished he could eat their food. In that moment, his heart broke, and he remembered his father's kindness. Through his tears, he said to himself, "I will go home to my father. I will tell him that I have sinned and am no longer worthy to be his son." Even before he reached home, his father saw him from far away. Filled with compassion, the old man ran toward his son, his robe flowing behind him. He embraced him tightly, weeping with joy. The son began to speak, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you." But the father stopped him and said, "Bring the best robe, put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. My son was lost and is found." The father's heart overflowed with joy. He called to his servants, "Bring the best robe and place it on my son. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. Prepare the fattened calf. Tonight we will celebrate." Soon the sound of music filled the house once again. Flutes, drums, and laughter echoed through the courtyard. Servants rushed about, filling the tables with food and wine. The smell of roasted meat drifted into the night air, and every heart rejoiced. The lost son had come home. The younger son, washed and clothed in new garments, sat at his father's side. His eyes were wet with tears, but this time, they were tears of gratitude and peace. The father looked upon him with pride and said softly, "My son was lost, but now he is found. He was dead, but now he lives again." The home that had once been filled with silence and sorrow was now alive with laughter, joy, and light. Pause for soft music. But not everyone shared in that joy. As the celebration continued, the elder son returned from the fields. He heard the music and the dancing, and he stopped in confusion. He called one of the servants and asked, "What is happening?" The servant replied, "Your brother has come home, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has received him back safe and sound." But the elder son's voice was filled with pain. "Father," he said, "all these years I have served you faithfully. I never disobeyed you, yet you never gave me even a young goat to celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours returns, after wasting your money, you honor him with a feast." The father placed his hand upon his son's shoulder and spoke with deep love. "My son, you are always with me, and all that I have is yours. But it is right for us to celebrate. For your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The elder son stood in silence. Slowly, his anger melted into understanding. He looked toward the house, where laughter still echoed, and his eyes softened. Pause. Music fades to calm. The next morning, peace filled the father's home once more. The two brothers stood side by side with their father in the golden light of dawn. The air was still, and the sound of birds filled the sky. The love that was lost had been restored. What was broken had been made whole again. This is the heart of the Father, full of love, mercy, and forgiveness. No matter how far we wander, He waits for us to come home. His arms are always open. His heart is always ready. For every lost soul that returns, heaven itself rejoices, because in the Father's house, love never ends, and no one is ever too far gone to be found again. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Luke 15, verse 24.